Okay, let me know if you can hear me. Sorry, we got technical issues. That should work. I see all the um, levels up on here. Sound good? Good sound? Oh no. Let's see. No sound still. Oh, mic check. Ah, crikey. Better. Okay, so we got sound. Okay, not sure what the issue is. I think I just refreshed it in Restream. There were some issues, so we're gonna start it up again. We're back on a live, and we're gonna talk about some weekly news. Let's get into the SWE ecosystem because that's always interesting to me, and I just wanna go over some of the latest announcements and trends in crypto. So feel free to join this journey. DeLorean Labs are launching their token in the next few days. If you're not familiar, the DeLorean is the car from Back to the Future. And they have this hype video that really shows off the car, the movie, the nostalgia, and they're really running on hype. Now, they did provide free NFTs last September, and I did post about it and share their QR code to participate when this was announced, and it was only open to, I think, like 80 registrants, and they gave away free capsule NFTs that could potentially win you the car, an actual new DeLorean that they are in the process of developing. It's not available yet, but when it is, it's going to be like a $200,000 car. So the floor price for these NFTs is around, 42, depending on which type of capsule you get. Looks like they have two different versions of it. The one they gave away in the past was the one at 27 SWE, and these newer ones go for about 42. Now, we also want to understand, what is it? What are they doing? What is the token for? So let's jump into that. Obviously, there's going to be staking because they kind of want your liquidity. DMC, built to move the future, powered by SWE. Now, I'm surprised by how good this looks because they didn't really raise that much money, at least according to AI. They only raised about $1.9 million through an ICO. So we're going to jump into that. The amount they raised through Republic raised 1.9 million in investments. So the ICO, pretty good. This was earlier this year, January 21, 2025. But I do have concerns about this token launch because, yeah, they didn't raise too much money, but they're launching with Binance. And if you know, when you launch with Binance, you have to pay the Binance fee of allocating a percentage of the token supply to their community, the Binance Alpha crew. So it's people who stake their tokens on Binance, they get rewarded for it. And anytime you have like a big airdrop, you have a big dump. So I would be very careful with this new token launch, especially with the questionable utility and staking. But there could be hype. There could be hype, so we want to look at all aspects. You can't really tell how well a project will do. Long term, probably not that good. Short term, who knows? Who knows? So that's what crypto investing is. It is a lot of short-term investing. They're also launching with BitGet. So, a lot of that token supply is going to these partnered launches, which is very concerning. And honestly, it would probably short the first hour if you can do that. So they're launching their futures trading. So if you want to short it, it happens 2 hours after the spot trading becomes available on Binance, and potentially the same thing on BitGet. So I would be on the watch for that. But within that 2 hours, that could dump so much by then and start recovering. So we got a few different comments. I'm going to jump into these later because we got a lot of news. We got a lot of things to cover. And, there's a lot of sad stuff happening in the world. We're gonna keep moving. So the DMC token, you can see, there are concerns. They have a lot of hype with other things, but I think it's mostly with the crypto community. It hasn't really reached the Web 2 audience. So let's take a look at a detailed review provided by X. the DMC token launched by DeLorean Labs, the Web3 division of the DeLorean Motor Company. So this is an official thing because they are launching with a car, and I think they're going to have on-chain statistics about, your registration, your mileage. Everything is just going to be put on the blockchain. So what is the DMC token for? It serves as a native token of DeLorean Labs Web3 ecosystem, yada, 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 facilitate tokenized vehicle ownership, provide access to exclusive products and experiences, and it aims to redefine how fans and enthusiasts interact with the DeLorean brand by combining nostalgia and modern technology. Now, I have a friend who's a huge fan of Back to the Future. They have no idea this token exists, and that's kind of a problem. They haven't reached a Web 2 audience, and even in the Web 3 world, I think they haven't made that much noise yet. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out of this. Hopefully a good car that people like. Now, I think they said the sticker price at launch is going to be like $200,000, and that is not something I want to afford or can afford. And I don't know if I want to be driving around a $200,000 car. That's gonna be an issue. And want to jump into something also interesting regarding getting robbed, because that also happened recently to somebody. And yeah, here we go. Face doxed, location tagged, banner photo of watch, pin tweet buying $800,000 watch, had it coming. So this guy had like a very expensive watch, and he got a gun to his head, and his watch was stolen, an $800,000 watch. Now, if you have that watch, I don't even know how you can resell it without raising any questions, because you're not going to get $800,000 out of it if you are a criminal. Maybe like $20,000 to $40,000. Maybe someone generates some fake paperwork to make something happen. But yeah, that is crazy that their watch was stolen, and there's no way you're gonna get that same resale value. So that is just something to consider. People get robbed with whether you're in crypto or not. Just flexing and being in a bad neighborhood, not so good. Now, I thought this tweet was really interesting because the duration of the longest points programs that are still active. So these are people that these are projects that are trying to get a community, trying to get people active there, trying to get people to stake, use their platform, whatever it may be. And MarginFi has been running for 2 years now, so they haven't actually airdropped their users yet. Photon, Rainfi, Meteora, DFlow, Switchboard, and the Vault. These are over a year in the making. I guess it's not as bad as Pi Network because they took like 5 years to launch their airdrop, and to get it, you had to KYC and jump through a lot of hoops where you had to give your identity to this unknown company, which raised other risks. So airdrops are an opportunity, but at the same time, sometimes not. Sometimes they kind of just keep teasing you, and you might not get something out of it even after 2 years of grinding. So something to consider. Now, this was posted by Fabiano.Soul on June 20th, and the very next day on June 21st, posted by KateXBT.hl. You can see it's the exact same tweet. It's the exact same thing. And KateXBT posts some pretty good stuff, so I'm following her, but I was really surprised to see she stole this tweet, posted it the very next day. So be careful of these anons online. A lot of them might be just copying other content, and yeah, even though it's another day, they didn't even bother adding another number to this. It's the next day. This could have been 722, 578, 529, but they didn't even put the effort into doing that. So yeah, be careful where you get your information, and if you'll actually get an airdrop for grinding with some of these platforms. And I also searched it up, and other people were posting the exact same thing just in the last day, where it's the exact same tweet. Klarna. If you're not familiar, Klarna, buy now, pay later, kind of like a layaway system where maybe you pay interest, you take a small loan. So the $15 payments giant Klarna says it will accept Bitcoin and crypto. That's pretty bullish news. A lot of bullish things have been happening in the traditional finance markets. I think this is a great way to buy something now, have the exposure of the crypto bull market, and pay things over time. This is something I would consider using depending on what I am purchasing. So if you don't know, Klarna's potential to move to accept Bitcoin, announced by their CEO, echoed in reports that marks a significant shift for the $15 billion buy now, pay later giant, challenging traditional finance sector's resistance to crypto amid its growing 2025 adoption surge. And we had the Genius Act with stablecoins being a new thing. We have JP Morgan jumping into the stablecoin game. We have Circle just making a ton of money upon their launch. And yeah, I think we're in a bull market when it comes to traditional finance right now. But when it comes to the actual crypto markets where you're degening into a lot of these altcoins, that opportunity is still very limited. So I think we're going to see a shift very soon from the traditional finance bull market of crypto into the actual crypto market. So hopefully that happens soon. And I think one of those triggers is going to be Robinhood. Now, Robinhood in the last cycle was like the #1 way for regular people to get exposure to cryptocurrency, just because it's very easy to use. There isn't any gas. It's just a traditional finance app where you can easily buy any type of asset. So in the last cycle, Doge was one of the big winners, and that was in part due to Robinhood being such a convenient platform. Now, they announced recently crypto season has landed, and we're giving away 1 Bitcoin each to 5 winners. That's 5 Bitcoin. This is over $500,000. Every eligible dollar you deposit is a chance to win. Rules apply, no purchase necessary. So I read the terms and conditions. It's pretty easy. So if you are a US resident and you have access to Robinhood and you want to get exposure to this, you have to deposit money into their platform by July 7. Every dollar you deposit is an entry, and you can deposit up to $1,002,000 because each entry is one time, a maximum of 1,002,000 times. So if you deposit $1,002,000, you have the maximum amount of entries. Now, most people don't have that much money, myself included, but you can cycle that money. So it's all based on your deposit. So you can deposit money, you can withdraw that money, you can deposit again. So that is an opportunity, but also an opportunity cost. Let's say you're investing in something like Coinbase or Circle, and that's going up. You kind of just freeze up that potential earnings by using your money to potentially win some Bitcoin. Now, I don't know how many people will actually participate and what your odds are, but if there isn't a lot of participation, you have a pretty good chance of winning an entire Bitcoin. So this is something I'm looking at and might participate in because I had to download the app to figure out some of the details. So something to look at. And yeah, I had to read the terms and conditions. These were only available in the app. So something to consider. And I really like this post because this MFer, Cupsy, ain't had a red day ever. And then by Waz Crypto, idiots on the replies actually glazing one of the most copy-traded wallets in history. All he does is enter a shitcoin at a $10,000 market cap, which is like nothing, and sell at a $20,000 market cap 20 seconds later. That's the only way to do it. Because if you have a big wallet that's known for making money, people want to copy trade that. And if they are copy trading something at a $10,000 market cap, that can easily go up 100% to $20,000. So that's the system. If you want to make money doing this, there is a system to that. And it's not the most honest way to make money, but he's making about $23,000 a day, depending on the month. So he's making over $20,000 a day just repeating this cycle, and it works like this. First, you gain an audience, you make your wallet public so people can copy trade it, you tweet about it, you gain that traction, And what he does is buy these low market cap coins. When people start copy trading him and start pumping up that very, very low market cap coin, he sells. And that's how he makes money in this crypto market, even though a lot of people aren't making money. So, I mean, it's an effective system. It's not the most honest way to make money, but it is an effective system. So be careful who you copy trade and understand those risks. It's very risky investing in anything in crypto. And with people making gains this way, someone has to lose. And here's another interesting thing I saw. An Ethereum-powered app, Earnifi, just won Best Financial Services App at the 2025 American Business Awards. I've never heard of the Stevie Awards. I don't know how prestigious it is. Not a lot of crypto companies I know are following them besides Nexo. And, even if you're on the Forbes 30 under 30, you have to buy your way onto that list. So the significance of this might be pretty minor, but someone won something. The Stevie Awards. This might be like the new scam of just creating a fake media legacy and providing awards by allowing crypto companies to win them. I have no idea what Earnifi is. I've never used it. It's the #1 paid finance app in the App Store, but I could be missing things. I should look into it. I'm surprised they didn't link it because they linked everything else here. Labubu. But you pay $2,000 in gas fees for the privilege, and it's a JPEG. So if you're not sure about Labubu, it is crazy. So it kind of keeps going on like that. And Labubu is kind of the physical craze that we used to experience with NFTs. Now, they aren't on the blockchain or anything. I just think it's interesting that there are people that want to build a community around a product, that want to invest in these things for the potential of earning something. And that is kind of a gateway drug to crypto. So if you find something in crypto where people are passionate about something, that they have a strong community, that people are eager to buy things like this, then you might have a winner. Now, Claynosaurs was a NFT project that launched very recently on Sui Network. They were doing these blind box things. They were these NFTs that you could get, and it did not have the same amount of traction. So it really takes a while to see this kind of community growth and demand, and it's very hard to replicate. I'm sure there's a lot of different marketing teams trying to do the same thing for a bunch of different products, but it's just very, very hard to replicate. Now, I thought some of the comments were interesting, but I think it froze. Hang on. Up, here we go. And you can flex it as a PFP. It's an all-around win. Who's building this? World-class work. Labubu changed the world. Take me back to 2021, the NFT craze, brain rot season, and then they rug you 3 months later. Also very possible. So Labubu craze, it's happening. Now, another thing that happened was A16Z raised Cluely by Roy. He did this AI exam cheater application that could not be seen by their interviewers. They raised $15 million in a raise led by A16Z, where you can cheat on anything. Now, it's still not clear what the company does. So here's the summary. Cheat, noun, an advantage so good it's unfair, rewrites the balance between effort and outcome. So it looks like they're using they're building some kind of AI app for allowing people to cheat on things. I don't know what it's going to be. They raised a lot of money and they built up a lot of hype. Their videos were pretty good. So, meet Roy, CEO of Cluely Exams. They're really good at making viral content, and it seems like their team is all marketing. They're all very good at marketing. They all have a large following. They're all good at hyping something up, which is one of the most valuable things in crypto, because if you have a good marketing team, then you have the potential of making money, at least in the short term. So this is their hype up video, and someone made the same thing. While Cluely spends that $15 million on marketing videos, this random guy on Reddit built and open sourced the exact same product. So they built a side project. Cluely raised $15 million to build this. I just open sourced it and made it completely free. So I don't know. I don't know how much value there is. I know these VCs, they really bet on founders and driving this attention. And even if they don't build a great product, they'll probably make enough money back just from the hype and maybe promoting other stuff. So that is just something to consider. We still got a lot of other news to cover. And I think we're going to have a guest soon. We might be joined by Jared, and he's launching an AI agent. So let's dig into Potato Finance. They actually did the Potato launch sale, and it sold out immediately. I missed this. So I like the product. I think it has a lot of potential, and I missed their land sale. So I might have to wait until the prices come down, or just be sad that I missed everything. But yeah, they did a land sale recently, and I feel like it went really well. But I still have trauma because of the sandbox, because of all these other games that sold land that did not do as well. So I'm hoping for their success. Their product is really good on Sui. Basically, it's a portfolio manager. It gives you Telegram notifications if you're in danger in some of your DeFi positions. And yeah, it's just actually really useful. So, not promotion, nothing to promote really there, just something to look into. And in other Sui news, there is the Taco refund. Now, 7K DeFi launched their NFT collection, Taco, T-A-K-O, and a lot of people weren't happy with the performance of the team, with the performance of the NFTs, and they kind of felt rugged. So with that, they allowed refunds. If you bought the NFT and didn't trade it and you minted it directly at their website, you are eligible for a refund. Now, I picked up one of these for pretty cheap on Tradeport before they announced this, so hopefully they'll cook something up. But a lot of the NFTs on Sui haven't been doing that well. There's only a few collections that have been growing, that have maintained that community, and a lot of the mints have not that much action. I think it's just hard to build up these NFT communities, to keep people engaged, to keep people excited about what they're doing. And if you're not familiar with 7K, they are a DeFi aggregator, but there's a lot of DeFi aggregators on Sui, so yeah, just the other things that are going on. And this is just more Cluely news. This is the average Pokemon card right now, up to 5, 10x in a year, depending on what it is. So we saw with Labubu in Web 2 that there is a lot of demand, there is a lot of hype. And the same thing is happening for Pokemon cards, that demand has just grown and people want to invest in something. And that opportunity is right now in Pokemon cards and Labubu. That opportunity is not in crypto, because if you have been a crypto holder, you have been hurting. And if we look at the charts, which aren't too great, most cryptocurrencies don't do well over time. So we're going to look at the 1-year performance, and I'm just going to zoom out here. And we look at the 1-year ROI for a lot of these cryptocurrencies. If you've been a cryptocurrency for at least a year, these are the ones that have outperformed Bitcoin, and we have Bitcoin at number 38. So there's only 37 cryptocurrencies that have been around for a year that have outperformed Bitcoin. That's very hard to pick. That's just almost impossible. Tornado Cash, SWI, which has been one of my big picks, and BGB. These are the ones I'm familiar with. I'm very surprised about XRP, and I'm on TikTok watching some of the crazy XRP predictions. People are predicting it to go to $17,000, which is more money than what's available in the entire world. So it's a lot of hopium. I think they might do pretty well, but they're not going to do $17,000 well. Maybe $5-6 good, but I'd rather hold Bitcoin or SWI. I think SWI is one of the most undervalued opportunities out there, just because I'm holding that asset and I believe in what they're building, and the experience is pretty good. Let's see. In other news, Bold Leonidas. If you follow him on Twitter, he has these great one-shot cartoons. It's just one thing, and he's popular. So he has 81,000 followers, escaped the 95 to do the 24/7, which is the experience in crypto. You're always online perpetually, and it can be stressful. And the thing is, he put money into 3 seed deals total since he started in crypto. One of them never released a project. The other 2 have also never released a project. Lesson in that. Basically, seed deals are very risky and you can lose money. And I don't think I've made any money on any of my seed deals where I kind of just take a loss. And some of them have been pretty scammy, that, or at least in the offers, where I just avoid it completely, where they offer me a coin at $100 million market cap before it goes public, where then you're obligated to promote it just because you're a part of their team now. So I've just completely ignored those or have taken losses on that, just because if I don't believe in it and they change things over time, then it's not worth it. You just take that loss. So yeah, being early, especially if you are a creator and a smaller creator, not that good. If you're a bigger creator, you have a lot more power on your side, where you can get a token early and you can dump it the first day. That is what I've heard from other big creators or rumors about them. So yes, you should always be careful about where you're getting your information. And what are the incentives for the people promoting that? Like, what are the chances you make money? What are the chances you lose money? So those are just things to consider when you are investing in crypto, just because there are a lot of different dangers in it. All right. So let's take a look at some numbers. Circle keeps getting crazier. They are at a $65 billion market cap. In comparison, Robinhood, $69 billion, $1.3 billion of net income, 51.5x of net income. Coinbase at $78 billion, $2 billion net income, 37.3. Circle is at $65 billion with 259 million of net income, 216 XNI. Basically, it's saying it's overvalued, but it doesn't matter because the hype is there. People want to invest in things that are making money, and if there's momentum, there's the potential of making money even if it doesn't make sense. So investors clearly want stablecoin bets. They see it going up, they're investing. And that's why we're seeing things like JP Morgan getting into stablecoins, World Liberty Finance launching USD1, just because it's an easy business. Now, if we see JP Morgan launch their stablecoin, which they're doing on Base, we do have a lot of potential of them onboarding their other clients into crypto because they want to make money off that. They want to get more money into their stablecoin so they can make more money. And that is something I see that would start the next bull cycle. So that is just something to consider. And holding a lot of the altcoins right now might not be the best bet, but you want to look for things that could really pay off once that altcoin market hits. If it does hit, there's no guarantee it will, but in case it does. So yeah, we had this post. JP Morgan just decided to launch a USD token on Base. And there's this full episode on the Unchained pod with Jesse Polak. And just talking about why the world's biggest bank chose Base, what this means for stablecoins, the significance of Coinbase letting users trade on chains, and why base is still Ethereum, and more. What I got from that is the biggest bank in the world wants to get into crypto to make more money, and that's happening. So that should be incredibly bullish news. I know we haven't seen the bull market in crypto yet, but I think it's going to happen. Everything is lining up really nicely. And I saw this post by by Jacqueline Melanik. She bought this Prada bag, and Aura Blockchain Consortium. This authentic Prada products certificate has been uploaded on Aura Blockchain Consortium's platform to record and guarantee its integrity. I've never heard of the Aura Blockchain Consortium, but it just looks like they do on-chain verification of physical goods. So it looks like quietly we are seeing blockchain adoption with these big brands because they want to create some authenticity, some kind of tracking to prove that you're getting something. And yeah, that's what this is. So bought this Prada bag yesterday and was surprised to see it's certified on the blockchain. I've been saying for years that luxury goods should be verified on chain. Should be cool to see what's happening now. All right, we got Josh here. Welcome, Josh.
Hey, thank you. One
You
moment.
made it.
Can you hear me okay?
Trying to add.
Can you
Oh,
hear me okay?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Are you just seeing my message? Perfect. Excellent. Thank
Yes.
you for bringing me on.
Yeah, of course.
Just getting the good mic on.
No worries.
But
Gives me
yes,
a break
Prada.
to.
I thought you were touching light on Prada entering the blockchain, bag
Yeah.
verifiable on chain. I'm just gonna switch to my mic here so you can hear me a little
Hmm.
better. Okay, switch that over. All right. Figure that out. But yeah, that's crazy. And I think that's huge for the designer brand space or just anything where you need to verify if it's legit. You know, you got
Yeah.
Prada bags. They have their own pretty much secondary market, especially Chanel bags, Birkin bags you hear about a lot. And so now when somebody comes in to sell a Birkin bag, trade a Birkin bag, Prada bag, they can make sure it's actually legit by verifying it on the blockchain. I think it's a no-brainer. I think we're going to start seeing that in the watch game for sure, and just more luxury goods. So I think that's really cool and just a no-brainer for the space.
Yeah, it makes sense. I remember back in the day, VeChain was doing this. They were doing like this tracking, and they built up a lot of
Yeah,
hype early on. This is, I think, the 2017 days, and they became one of the most valuable cryptocurrencies out there. And it
yeah,
turns out they kind of just disappeared because, even if you have this tracking, it is a nice feature, but I don't think it makes a lot of money. So I think we'll
yeah.
get to that point eventually, but no one's gonna pay extra for that. If they said like, oh, this bag is 10% more because it has blockchain tracking, they're like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
I don't see it being like that. Definitely has to be well put into practice. It has to be executed perfectly, in my opinion, for it to be something
Mhm.
that works. Or like, let's say somebody or counterfeiters add a fake link to the real transaction hash that verifies that item, right?
Mhm.
Or different things. So you know exactly how it works for the product in particular.
I don't. I just kind of assume that it is a tracker saying, hey, it was bought at this time from this location, and this is the owner, if anything.
Right, right. Like a transaction hash.
Yeah. But honestly, like, how nerdy is that shit? Like, oh, you have to bring out your blockchain certificate to prove to other people, no, this one's real. You bought a fake one, you loser. Like, this one's
Yeah.
real. Look at my blockchain certificate.
Yeah. Etherscan has the receipts.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see that happening because, even if you have a nice fake, which, they're all made in China anyway, um,
Right.
people just kind of want that nice experience.
100%. 100%.
Hmm.
Cool, cool. All right. I'm not really sure what I missed. I wasn't watching the stream before I came on. Got the invite, hopped on.
Welcome,
Markets.
welcome.
I'm not sure if you've talked markets yet and just the state of the markets today, the uncertainty.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts?
Not too much. It just kind of went over. The market is very hot for stable coins in traditional finance. We see Circle and Coinbase pumping. We see JP Morgan launching their stable coin. And none of that has translated into Bitcoin going up. Altcoins have been hurting, but
Right.
there's opportunity there. Like the rails are being set up right now, and you want to find those opportunities now, even if it's just Bitcoin, because we are
Right.
seeing blockchain adoption. We are seeing traditional finance get in because they want to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're going to start pushing their blockchain products on people soon. And being early is the opportunity.
I feel like this is actually even being underplayed, undervalued, or underhyped, if you will. These
Mhm.
TradFi companies and TradFi brands taking a strong crypto stance, strong crypto initiatives, because this is what, in my opinion, really is going to bring in retail users who were not on the blockchain, new users, new capital flowing into crypto. Prada's user base, or rather consumer base, is massive, right? That's just one brand, and then you have all these different TradFi companies. You even got Wall Street, finance companies that are now going off the crypto rails. So this just brings more exposure to so many more people who don't think twice about blockchain. And when they get the product, it's like, oh, now here we have some sort of blockchain integration. It's like, oh, what does that mean? What is that? I want to learn more, right? And it can be bringing on more and more users. The fact that that's happening on a widespread scale, I think, is huge for the market and can have a really positive effect in the mid to distant future.
Yes. But right now, I think it's going to take some time because the economy is struggling and trust
Yeah,
in the US administration is pretty bad.
very
Just
bad.
because they're also backing Bitcoin, which kind of is a double edged sword. I don't
Yeah,
know if you saw any of the TikToks regarding the US, I guess, President Trump's birthday celebration, the little parade, sponsored by
I wasn't
Coinbase
following.
and other products, right?
Oh, look at that.
Dude, yeah, I saw that on TikTok. People were cooking Coinbase. They're like, "Oh, it's sponsored by crypto scams," and they showed Coinbase. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's the impression Web2 people have right now. So I was like, "Oh, it's
That's
gonna be.
crazy.
It might be tough. It might be
That's
tough to sell
crazy.
Bitcoin to these people right now."
That's probably going to be a banger side event. Can't lie, for the ones who got the Luma link, for the ones who got that
Yeah,
Luma invite to
yeah,
the B-Day party. But sponsored by Coinbase, sponsored by scams, if you will, the rugs. Now Trump gets to turn up on his birthday. Didn't know about that, but that's interesting. And yeah, I'm sure they do whatever they can to be in the good graces of the government, politics, all those things. It goes a long way. We have regulation setting in, and they could be petitioning some of the things that they believe will be best for the crypto space in the US. So it makes sense that they'd be sponsoring these events. Just like think about when we go to side events, right? During crypto conference weeks, they're sponsored by different cryptos that are pushing their initiative, pushing their way, or whatever it is, and to bring attention and exposure to certain things about their project. So I feel like this is the same thing, but on a larger scale, right? So Coinbase sponsoring Trump, and we just had the Genius Act go by, and just
mhm,
different things.
mhm.
So they're making moves in regulation. So I think that makes sense, honestly. Sure, of course, there's always going to be like some sort of response to it, but I like that move personally by Coinbase, and it makes sense to be in the good graces of the people making the rules, right?
Yeah, it does. You mean you'll always be top of mind. At least they're talking about Coinbase. They'll
Yeah.
be in people's minds. Like, all right, Coinbase, crypto's getting hot. Where do I go? They'll probably go to Coinbase.
Right, exactly. The official exchange of the SEC for verifying things, and they,
Yeah,
they're very well integrated with everything going on there. So I think that's a power play, and it makes sense, to
yeah,
position
yeah.
themselves. They're the strongest exchange. They have the most money. I just did a huge transfer today. I just withdrew some crypto that I sent through my Coinbase, and these fees are diabolical. I can't lie. Coinbase is making such a bag, and like first I sent in the Solana, swap it to fiat. There was a huge fee. If once you get into like the couple thousands in swapping, those transaction fees on Coinbase are some of the worst. They're so
Yeah.
expensive. And then another fee to go ahead and wire it to my bank account. In Canada, we call it e-transfer. So they have a fat e-transfer fee. E-transfer is already zero fee for sending money via e-transfer. And then Coinbase, they slap their big fee on it,
Ooh.
and they really rake. And then they have Coinbase One, or their premium experience, and it's
Yeah.
quite expensive. So despite all that, they're still the top exchange. So that's saying a lot, and they're just making hand over fist. So yeah, I'm sure that party wasn't. It was just a drop in the bucket from the sponsor.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're one of the wealthiest exchanges out there. I think they make like 2 billion a year. off their trading fees and off their Circle partnership. So
I'm sure.
yeah, they got
Oh, and
money
the
to
Circle
spend.
partnership.
Yeah.
And the Circle partnership.
So
Yeah, and
that
so
was kind
Circle's
of
giving them 50% almost.
yeah. Yeah. So with JP Morgan entering the space, they're going to need to partner
Yes.
with other projects out there. They're going to have to partner with some exchanges, or they're going to have to be
Yeah.
pushing their own products and their own exchange and something to get people into crypto to hold the JP Morgan US digital dollar. So I think that's
Yeah.
bullish long term. You know, we're setting up the rails. Just the
Yeah.
sentiment is bad right now.
Yeah, 100%. I think Coinbase is really smart for how they played it to position themselves early, especially because crypto is still actually quite a new industry. So it's still open season for a lot of these, pillar or cornerstone projects. So Coinbase did a good job of positioning themselves early, right? They got in before JP Morgan. What's a bigger name overall,
Yeah.
Coinbase or JP Morgan? JP Morgan would have had that advantage had they started at the same time, trying to establish, that status quo as the main player as far as crypto goes, or, crypto transactions, mediator, exchange. So I think that's interesting. And Coinbase played it well. But as you said, very bullish that there is a competition in that within our space. It's only gonna make it grow more. They're gonna have to do things to be better than one another, and it's only gonna make us better, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Coinbase fees are crazy high. I
Terrible.
try not to use them. I try to stay away from like traditional finance. Is there any
Yeah.
other platform you use that is lower fees for Canadians?
BitGet. BitGet is my
BitGet.
main exchange. The reason I like Coinbase is because, as I mentioned, it's a feature you may not know about. The Canadians out there watching know what e-transfer is, Interact e-transfer. Um, I haven't seen it in any other countries, but in Canada, that's what we use to quickly send money just via email from bank to bank. And Coinbase has that well integrated, and it's just very, very fast and very convenient. And I think that's what their sort of value proposition is. It's fast, it's convenient. You can use Coinbase, you can use e-transfer, you can use PayPal, you can use all these different rails to offboard and onboard. Probably some of the most efficient, fastest, and easiest to use. Big Get is like more like you can do traditional bank wire to your bank and different things like that, but better fees. But yeah, anyway, Big Get, also like Kraken. And there's one that's like very, very, I think it's almost Canadian native. Trying to hit the name. I don't use it, but it's another very popular one. But Coinbase is still the standard as far as speed. So that's just what it is.
All right, we gotta get you a BitGet sponsorship. You're in
Yeah,
there. You
man.
know
Come
what's
on,
going
Bigga.
on. Yeah.
I've been to your side events. I use your exchange. I know what's going on. I even, BGB. I hold some BGB. Big Cat, man. Come holler at me. What's your
We got
favorite exchange?
also BitGet. If we're going BitGet, we're going BitGet. The user
Big Cat,
experience is
man.
pretty good. They're kind of like a tier one, tier two exchange where they'll take more risk on being early to some listings, where you also have exposure to their perps. That does raise a lot of opportunities for shorting for
Yes.
being early, which can pay off um, depending on how long you play it.
100%. 100%.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the one thing. Big Cat has a lot more features. They have more tokens. There are better fees. They have perps, so you can short and long. You can do it all
Mhm.
very seamlessly. Like for instance, let's say you just want to open a position, you're seeing an opportunity in the market to go short or long with leverage. I can quickly onboard fiat, do that just separately of my other stuff, so I don't have to sell and move any other crypto around. And just go straight from fiat to open a position and then cash that out and take it back to my bank swiftly, right? Without having to do a bunch of other stuff, right? In Coinbase, I probably have to go onto Coinbase, send it to some sort of perp dex or whatever I'm doing. And so, yeah, but yeah, Big Cat, that's probably my number one exchange.
All right, I think you should make something on the Zero X King Capital channel where you can find Josh. How's that
Thank
channel
you.
going?
Honestly, so far so good. I wish this episode was live. I may just drop it as a regular video. Just go ahead and
Mhm.
download it from your channel and do that, so King Capital community can enjoy this episode as well, and just do a little bit of an intro to talk about what we're talking about and drop the video. So So far, so good. Yeah, like appreciate everyone who's subscribed to King Capital so far. I can't believe we're over 350 subscribers. Crazy. We haven't had our first long form video up yet, just a couple shorts, couple live streams with Dan and some of the crypto friends, but we're about to start locking in and dropping a lot of stuff. I would head over there because I'm going to be talking about building stuff, like how to build your own crypto project and business, and the best way to go about it, some of the best ways to make money in crypto, how to get airdrops, and just really how to dive in and try to get the most value out of your time in crypto. So if that sounds good, hop over to the 0x King Capital channel and I'll meet you there.
Nice, nice. Now I'm
Thanks for the
trying to
commercial.
get more. Yeah. Oh no, it's good. It's good. I highly recommend it. Now,
Thank you.
one of the things that still resonates with me is like our friend Andy Lien, who said if
Mhm.
we don't make the content, the bad guys are going to make the content. And I've seen that.
Mm,
I've seen that on TikTok. There are so many terrible, terrible people yeah, promoting
that's a
the worst things
huge
on
point.
there. Yeah.
That's a
Where,
man.
yeah, yeah. So
I'll
I'm
let you finish
gonna,
because I have some thoughts on that.
yeah, I'm probably gonna make more content on that. Maybe some stitched videos, just calling some people out. Just want people to understand that it's not that easy. It's not that easy to make money in crypto. There are opportunities, of course, but there's no long-term opportunity. So you can't just hold, and you also can't day trade. Now, people
No.
say, you can go through this day trading course to easily make $100 a day or whatever it may be, but we know that's
Right.
trash. That's not a thing. Like,
That's not the
we have
case.
AI. If we can't train AI to do that consistently already, there's no hope for you, right?
Yeah, right. Because AI will actually stick to these discipline rules and stick to these parameters and strategies. Whereas as human beings, we're emotional. We might get
Hmm.
excited when things are going well. We might panic when things aren't, and so on and so forth. And these, well tested and well tweaked AI systems still can't, be profitable over a long span of time, right? So definitely day trading, in my opinion, is not the way. Very similar in my opinion to gambling. You can try a whole bunch of different things, but yeah, what you mentioned, huge, and that's a huge quotable by Andy Leon. If we don't make the content, the bad guys will. If you follow crypto TikTok, which is still a very niche emerging platform for crypto information, it's actually riddled with a lot of these meme coin, Solana meme coin influencers bringing you into their Telegram groups or their Discord servers where they're dropping plays. This is not shade or diss, but Potion, I think they made it a big thing. Potion Discord, they're a WAP community with a few different influencers with a lot of reach. They pretty much took that playbook. They'll drop a coin in the chat, and pretty much they have their own buy pressure built in. There'll be new launch pump fund tokens, and it can be a complete obscure coin. It can quietly be their own coin. And the minute they drop it in this Discord where everyone's engaged, the communities buy in, but they're buying their bags, right? So
Right.
they'll be trading live and they'll have their community ready to pretty much buy their bags. And you see a lot of these tokens going really volatile, they're rocketing and they're freaking out on camera. And that's some crazy marketing. And they'll make clips of that, put it on TikTok, put it on shorts, and it's like, join our group, like look at these crazy numbers, and they'll be pulling out like huge amounts actually. But a lot of what people don't understand, especially newcomers, is that it's the community itself that are buying these obscure meme coins, pumping it, creating content for people, and getting creating content for the founders, and getting more people in. But everyone ends up getting dumped on by the team and by the
Yeah.
people who are making these videos and controlling these Discord servers, because otherwise these tickers wouldn't have caught a bid, right? And so that's one thing I
Hmm.
find really interesting, and that's how a lot of the bad guys are playing this. And there's a few different ways they can try it. So that's my thoughts on that. Crazy.
Now we got Jared on standby. We'll bring him in a second, but I just want
Okay.
to bring like a Web 2 translation for that because there are kind of a couple technical terms in there, but it's basically
Right.
like a cult. You tell your cult, you're like, hey, you're all gonna get rich. You're all gonna be
Exactly.
successful. Just drink this juice. Just drink this juice, guys.
And the
But this
Kool-Aid,
juice costs
man.
$100 each. You drink that Kool-Aid, you're done. You're out. You're out of the game.
Exactly.
And then they cycle through a new community. So
And
that's
then they
just what
cycle through a
happens
new
to
community.
these scoops. Yeah.
And you nailed it on the head too. Drink this Kool-Aid. And here's the thing. So some of them will buy the calls, buy, the team's bags, and will experience some of that buy pressure, especially if you were early. Let's say you ate right early to the call and people are buying after you as well. It's like, wow, this group really works. Like, although I did get rugged, at one point I was up 2x. At one point I was up 1.7x. If next time if I just sell on time, blah blah blah. You can tell yourself 100 things, right? But that's still
Mm-hmm.
how it's operating in the background. This money's not coming from nowhere. It's the community that's buying in. Plus they're, live streaming and they're sending out these clips to bring more people in. So always be wary of these alpha groups and these random influencers who are saying, join my soul community. We're all eating every single day. They're eating, community, maybe not so much. So definitely lock in with that.
Absolutely. All right, let's welcome Jared at Agent Daredevil. Welcome to
Hey,
the stream.
What's up, boys? What's up, boys? Good to be here.
what up? What up? Welcome.
I was in the back, right, listening to you guys just now talking, and that literally just happened to me. Like, it
No
just
way.
from start to finish. I don't want to name the bad people, or I'm not here on a witch hunt, but literally, that
We'll hunt them in the
just-
Discord.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, bro. Like, I have to talk about this for a second because it's just
Please.
coincidentally so funny. Meme coin craze, back in, November, December, January time, opening up a coin, pre-sale. We all get in on the pre-sale. Awesome. We're excited, big things happening. And the team, they're telling us like, okay, when we reach these milestones, we'll give you guys your tokens. All right. We reach a milestone, we don't get our tokens. They say something. You just trust us. All right. The next milestone. Oh, little echo in here. Is it really bad, boys?
A little bit. I know
It's
you
not
have a
too
better
bad.
mic, but I know you have a better mic, so maybe it's not set in the restream settings. So if you hover up next to the arrow in the microphone below the video, it'll show like what your microphone is set to.
Boys, how about now?
Way better.
There we go. There we go.
I knew it.
Beautiful.
All right.
I was so
we're
engaged
in,
with the story. I can't wait. Keep going. Keep going.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah,
get it.
yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Sorry for that technical mishap,
you good.
boys. Okay. So we reach a milestone. They don't give us our token still. Right. All right. Okay, no big deal, guys. Whatever. This happens 4 more times. And they don't give us the token. And then from that point on, weird stuff was happening. Uh-oh.
Jared's frozen. Oh, he's back. Okay.
Okay.
We back.
Then weird stuff was happening. A whale came in and dumped on everyone, or just the best excuses you can imagine. We all been in this space, and we would hear
Mhm.
these types of things happening with these types of communities. I wonder why it's real bad.
Oh,
There we go.
we
back,
again.
boys?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So at this point, I'm already figuring out. Okay, this is what's happening. This is a done deal. This is dumpster fire. Here we go. So it's like a slow rug. Still don't have our tokens this whole time. Project's pretty much dead now. Came in at like a 20 million market cap pre-sale valuation. The founder just now decides, guys, here's your tokens. Here you go. The valuation now is at like less than $1 million.
Oh,
Oh,
95% down already.
Yeah, and then
come on.
the guy, like, obviously he's in trouble. And I'm not here to give bad
Witch
vibes
hunt.
to anyone. That's not my style. But just
Good.
the story in itself. He's in trouble. Now he wants to turn into a minister, and he's giving everyone. Oh, bro, you're gonna be a
Basically, he's saying,
minister.
"Don't come after me. I'm trying to my best. I'm trying to be a good person.
Yeah.
Don't come after me."
I'm in God's hands now,
Yeah.
and I'm
I mean,
giving
guys,
everyone
guys,
back their
I come
their pre-sale tokens. Here you go, guys. My bad, bro.
Oof.
You gotta love the
Come
crypto
on,
space.
man. He knows what he's
Mhm.
doing. He knows what he's trying to do. And guys,
Yeah.
oh no, this whale dumped on us. And let me tell you, he's probably that whale.
He's the whale.
Oh, for sure.
He's that whale that dumped.
Internal team, Yeah, for sure
Yeah.
they were doing weird stuff.
He's that
And,
well.
dude,
Hate to
people
break
were.
it to you, bro, but he's that well, man.
He is, bro. He is for sure. But it was just like I already coughed it up like as a L, months prior to this. So I wasn't expecting to get my tokens back, but it was just funny that he had the audacity to give the tokens back now.
At this point, just delete the Discord. Just do a full rug. You've already rugged us. So now he's giving you back. So you get a fraction of your initial investment that you're supposed to get at pre-sale rates, and the valuation drops 20 inverse 20x from the entry. That's come on, man.
Yeah.
At least a vesting schedule where it could have been better, in my opinion. What could have been a better setup, or what I would have suggested, even from a community standpoint, do a vesting schedule. Use something that the community could actually track and see when we're actually getting our tokens. Maybe lock the tokens up using something like Unicrypt, even Pink Sale. They have good lockers where you can have tokens released. There's different protocols for that. When he's saying trust me, bro, I'm gonna send it to you, bro. I got you. OTC, I'm gonna just send it. Nah. That's when I would have been like, nah, that's funny.
Right?
So what is the mechanism for getting our tokens?
Exactly.
We're not using Unicrypt. We're not using Gnosis Safe. They have a vesting sort of service or feature. There has to be some sort of things put in place, and I'm guarantee you these founders already know that. Him saying oh no, don't worry, trust me, bro. I'm gonna put out an announcement. I'm gonna airdrop you. I just drop your wallet, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Now
I would have been like, nah.
To my defense, just to let it be known, it wasn't,
I'm not trying to diss you. My bad. I'm not trying to
not at all.
You're negligent.
Yeah. Not at all. No. I didn't take it like that anyway.
Okay.
Like the guy, he had a great reputation here regionally. Like we all knew this guy, and he had a good repping from the past things he was a part of. And the people that he worked with were trustworthy too. So it gave that credibility of oh, man, yeah, it makes sense.
Trust this guy.
We trust him. He's doxed, stuff like
that. How could he get us?
It's such a low bar we have in crypto that I was like, we've seen his face. We can trust
this
guy.
Face. That means he's trustworthy.
Take my money.
Right, bro. So yeah, bro. This is not the worst thing that I've ever been in, but it's funny more so than anything else, man. But, you gotta love it.
Yeah,
sorry to hear that. Honestly, the way you're saying it though, salute to you, because you took it well, and that's just the game. Sometimes you said someone who's seasoned, right? There's no crime in the casino. Crypto's a crazy space, and they do these grifts every single day, and we only get better and we learn from them, right? No crime in the casino. And that's just how it goes, man. But salute to you. We live to trade another day. We live to invest another day and build another day. So we keep
100%,
going.
Man. 100%. You gotta make fun of yourself, poke fun at situations when things come up like this. It happens.
You have to.
At least,
can't let ourselves get too high, and can't let ourselves get too low.
Yeah.
At least you got that 5%, that 5%. Because there's some of us who've seed invested in some projects that never launched. They're like, all right, well, it looks like they just ran out of money. My money's gone. All right, whatever.
Yeah. We had a little fun in there. We just couldn't use our tokens. It was cool. It was fun. It jumped up really high, of course. Valuations.
That's exciting.
That was exciting, but we couldn't do anything. So it was fun.
Yeah, that's tough. At least it was a ride. Sometimes you gotta just feel something. When
right. Yeah, we talked about that before, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pump token. That's dropping this week. Actually, the next couple days, next 5 or so days, it should be coming out. That's another interesting one. But wow, man, thank you for that story time, JD. That's good, man, and I hope that's a lesson to everybody watching. Right? You can. You might think that you found a very promising opportunity. It could be even from an influencer that you somewhat trust, and it could still end up going to almost zero or zero. So always be cautious. You can't you can't be careful enough in this space. So definitely trade safely and do your due diligence.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always a way to lose money, so you can't always give 100% trust to anything, as we've learned. So you just kind of have to be optimistic, keep moving forward, and not risk everything.
100%. I wonder where a lot of those funds went to. I wonder if it was spent on, maybe outsourcing third-party developers, and
Good
some stuff just
times.
didn't pan, or just a pure rug. A lot of the time, it's just a pure extraction
Yeah.
from the team in different ways. But sometimes there are legit teams that will raise some capital, and their
Yeah.
efforts don't pan out, and that's business. That happens in traditional business all
Yeah,
the
for
time,
sure.
and it happens in crypto, right? So,
Yep.
yeah,
100%. Yep. 100%. I'm curious too, right? So,
yeah. I
but
wonder where
yeah,
the
man.
money ended up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious.
That's
Oh, yeah.
tough. Dan, how about you? Worst grift experience, whether it's from a seed, whether it's from, just a regular play. What was your worst L in crypto that
I
you
mean, I've
that you
had
drank the
quite a
Kool-Aid on?
few. I've had a few. So my most expensive early stage one was this thing called Lomo Coin. Now, Lomo Coin was like this kind of Bitcoin fork where you'd kind of run a node, you'd stake, and
Good old nose.
they posted something. This was like 2017, and they posted something on their Twitter saying like, "Oh, we got this Lomo Coin payments device. We partnered with Family Mart and these convenience stores in Japan," and then they deleted that tweet like a couple hours later saying, "Oh, someone kind of leaked something, but well, we can't announce it." So I got really excited about that. They had like an actual app where it was kind of like Pokemon Go, where it had maps and different points where you can
Cool.
get free Lomo coin. I was like, okay, well, they have an app, they have this
Interesting.
product, they have all these things. And this is when Bitcoin was like a few $1,000s, like less than $5,000.
Wow.
But I spent like $20,000-$30,000 on Lomo coin instead, and that shit went to zero. That shit went to zero quick. It got delisted off exchanges. The
Oh,
founder
not
is in hiding.
delisting.
They even showcased their offices in Shanghai, and it's like, oh wow, okay, everyone's docs. They have this thing. They're building this. They have an app that they're building out, and this was like way more advanced than other projects. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of believe in what they're doing if they're gonna have this payment system. And yeah, that was like a big part of my stack in 2017 where I could have just had several Bitcoin, but I bought that instead because I wanted to get rich quick. So,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
it's very hard to learn patience in crypto.
Yeah.
100%. The
So
one thing
hard.
about crypto, crypto will teach you, right? Crypto will teach you
Yeah.
a lot of the times.
Oh,
With
you'll get
these
humbled
things,
quick.
Yeah.
you get
You'll
humbled
eventually
very
get
quickly.
humbled, right? You stay in it long enough. Let's say in the beginning, you get lucky. It is what it
Right.
is. You rip it. Eventually, you keep with that same template or same tone, you will be humbled. For
Yeah.
sure.
It's inevitable. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. And ask anyone who's been in the game. There's a saying: even the best get wrecked. Even some of the best traders you might see, some guys who are actually absolutely killing it. Guarantee you, they all have a
Yeah.
rug story, a horror story, or just
Mhm.
a story where they've lost a lot of capital. So never be too discouraged if you find yourself in a rug. Don't let that wipe you out of the markets. And just like the saying goes, never invest more than you're willing to lose. Never let yourself get completely wiped out, right? 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it is a minefield. Navigating crypto is a minefield. There's a lot of money to be made, but there's just as many, actually, there's more ways to lose your money. That's
Yeah.
the moral of the story here, I think.
It's 99% PvP. That there's not a lot
Yeah.
of things people can just hold and grow their
Right.
investment over time besides Bitcoin. And the rest of
Bitcoin.
it is kind of like PvP. You're selling a story, you're
Mhm.
selling demand, utility, but that's hard to guarantee.
Yeah. You know who I love
hard
that
to
really
guarantee.
goes down the rabbit hole when he says PvP? Like he's more of an entertainment value, obviously, to the crypto folks out there. Alex Becker, right? We all know who Alex Becker is.
Of course.
So he always, I love the way when he explains, like, hey guys, this is PvP, and he will admittedly say, like, I will steal from your grandma. This is PvP. I don't care. I'm letting you guys know right now. I will steal from your grandma if she puts money in this, because that's the name of the game here. Let's not be fooled by it.
Right.
It's true.
I mean, it's
It is-
honest.
true.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
honest. Like
I will dump on your grandmother. I don't care.
yeah, like it's so true.
I like that. And everyone needs to hear that. Everyone needs to hear that. It's like, okay, this is what crypto is really about.
Yeah, no, 100%. At the end of the day, it's PvP, bro.
It is PvP.
I just looked up Alex Becker. He has another channel called Alex Becker Business where he's like, all right, it seems like he's also shifting from crypto. He's like, oh, there's not much money to make here anymore. I gotta.
Yeah. He's got a
have some
couple.
other
He's got a couple.
Oh, he has a couple
I was gonna
channels.
say he's been in business before crypto. He's been in online business space, like very prominent before he even got into crypto,
Yeah.
especially with the ecom space. So I've known
Oh, he
about
figured
Alex
it out,
Becker.
bro. He's smart.
Yeah,
Like
he definitely is sharp player in the game. He
he'll
sold
put
his
your
one software company, Hyros, for like big money, probably like on like 9 figures, I think.
Oh,
So
what?
yeah,
oh, no.
he's a big player. So the ZSS business stuff is not like he's not like a crypto influencer who is
No.
now parlaying to other things because it's not starting off. He was originally doing well, or just a well in business that got into crypto because of the opportunity. So I'll just
Yeah.
leave that out there.
He figured it out, bro. Like at
Yeah.
least his marketing angle, how he projects himself as this entertainment value, but he gives good informational, like
He
really
does.
crass, very
Yeah.
like in your face type of like,
Yeah.
and it works. It works. People like it.
Guerrilla, almost like a little bit of guerrilla marketing, like, hey, F you,
Yeah.
this, that, this is this, right? And
Yeah.
then your grandma this, and he'll crack
He'll
jokes that are like
patronize the
edgy.
community.
He'll talk
Yeah.
about your girlfriend, like this, that. I can take your girlfriend right now because I'm doing better than you. This is how you come up in business, and so that this doesn't happen to you, like stuff like that.
Oh, that's
He's
hilarious.
funny.
Like
But
I feel like I got to use the same angle, and then like have a little something. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry, I have to say this.
yeah,
That's all.
literally, exactly. He'll do that. He's good with
good,
that.
bro.
So I gotta take a couple pages out of my book, or out of his book, when it
Yeah.
comes to that, because it works. Definitely, it works. And he
It
has a little
works.
bit of
Yeah.
his own cult. He has a cult. There's a
He
Becker
does
cult
have a
out there.
cult, like because he's like a character. He really is
Yeah.
like you can feel that he's acting to some extent.
Mhm.
Like he puts on a play. It's good though.
Yeah.
100%. He plays the character, but it works.
I think that's incredibly effective. Like if you guys know Uncle Roger on YouTube, he's like he does like cooking reviews. Originally, he was a stand-up
Yes,
comedian based in
the
England.
Oriental man. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah,
his
Uncle
character,
Roger.
yeah, his character is
He makes
Uncle
steak and stuff. He
Roger.
does like cooking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, yep. Okay, yep.
And I watched his early stuff. He's just like a sincere guy who wants to do comedy. He doesn't really have an accent. He kind of grew up in the UK or something, and he does
Yeah.
this Cantonese, very strong Cantonese English
That's funny,
accent, and he's summoning like his relatives, but that's the character he plays in his videos, where that character is just talking shit to everybody. Which we
Yeah.
can all kind of relate to, like a relative that does that, and he blew
Yeah.
up because of that.
Nice. Yeah, I
So
really
I
like
think-
Uncle Roger, and that's a great example. That's a great example. So playing a character a lot of the time, I mean, it's YouTube, it's entertainment, it's it's a show. So I mean that makes sense. Whatever is going to get people engaged, and then you talk about the value that you want to talk about, right? So
Absolutely.
like Uncle Roger, he's funny, but he's actually still dropping some pretty good cooking tips and some good recipes out there that you can try at home, right? Just like Becker, he drops these jokes and like this like crazy stuff that's like, oh, what the heck? And then he'll give you some crypto alpha, right?
Yeah.
So
Very true.
Yeah, I got to try one of these angles. I'm gonna figure something out. You're gonna see a new character very soon.
Yeah,
Maybe a
there
new
you go.
character
Nice.
every video. Still something blows up.
Just trying new
I like
things.
that.
all the
You know,
time.
the beauty of it, my channel's young. My channel's young, so I haven't really established my style or my character yet. So I guess I'm free to sort of play a
Oh,
character.
you're gonna be
But I think at
hilarious,
the end of
man.
the day, yeah.
I mean, even Uncle Roger, like that wasn't his first channel. It was an existing channel, and then he just did one video for fun as this character, and it blew up. So you could just keep
Oh.
trying anything, and if
Yeah.
it hits, you just keep going.
Double down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Double down. But I think it's so important to have a personalized channel that you could just keep it 100 and be yourself and put that out there. There's value in that too.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
Second
brain's kind of like
Changes.
coming up with ideas. Maybe I'll make maybe I'll make an anon channel where I'm like a VTuber that just talks trash about my personal channel, Full Value Dan,
Oh.
and have this fake beef between myself to
I've
cause
seen the
some,
weirdest things,
publicity.
man. There's this one guy on YouTube where he is in a full-blown Chewbacca costume, and he gives crypto news and alpha or full on as Chewbacca.
he's dropping gems in the Chewbacca
Dropping
fit.
gems, being a weirdo, but it works, and it's obviously some
Right.
alter ego of this real person. But Chewbacca
Correct.
talking crypto.
I mean,
Weird.
if it works,
And it's a
Does
good
he
costume.
hit them with the that noise that Chewbacca
yeah,
Yes,
makes?
he does.
the grower.
He does. He does. So this guy, this was like back in 2021, 2022 Gala. He was doing just
Gala
all Gala
games.
content. Yeah, so when they were like awesome back then, in 2021. Yeah, full on doing Gala stuff, just freaking Chewbacca in a movie style costume, not some runkadunk ragtag thing you'd buy at a retail. No, this was high quality, bro. Work. It was crazy.
That's crazy, man. I mean, guerrilla marketing, right? We live in the attention economy. Anything you do to draw attention, you come across a video, could be dropping the best alpha ever. This looks like you're, generic guy. You don't recognize him, and he's just talking. Chances are you're gonna scroll through, click off, right? So
Yeah.
It's
living the
so-
attention economy, you draw them in. That first 1 to 3 seconds is maybe the make or break whether they watch the rest of the video. They got Chewbacca. It's like, what the heck is this? You watch a little more. Oh, he's dropping gems. Next thing you know, they're fully engaged, right?
Yeah.
Right. And if you guys are familiar with VO3, people have been dropping these AI vlogs where maybe
Those are
it's an
hilarious.
AI vlog of a Yeti, of a Stormtrooper, of Bigfoot, of like Aladdin, of like all these fictional characters is a vlog. And that does raise the opportunity. It's like, all right, what's the perspective of this fictional character on this topic?
Yeah. Super cool stuff.
Yeah, like Goku. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
That would be a
That
great
would be a good one. Goku doing crypto reviews. Like, this one's weak.
Right?
I can take it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He always wants to be the strongest in the world or fight the strongest in the world.
Mhm.
I don't think this one's good enough or whatever the case.
Yeah.
Different things like that. It's interesting. I feel like with the way tech has grown, with how prominent AI is, and just sort of the things that we have in our tool belt now, it just opens up even more opportunity to be creative with different things like that, right? So
Mhm.
it's got to be early though. Take advantage of the new trends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early everywhere, especially crypto.
Mhm.
There's always an opportunity to grow that audience quickly. You just need to really catch that audience, have something they can relate to that they want to come back to,
100%.
I do,
which is
I
not
do-
easy. That's not easy to do.
It's not easy.
Oh, I want to piggyback on a statement you just said in there.
Mhm.
We're early. When are we gonna be late? Like we've been saying early for 10 years now, right? More or less.
Yeah.
When are we gonna be in the space like, guys? All right, we're in the mix of it now, boys. When's that gonna happen, guys? Jeez.
I
think
mean,
we're
I'd say
getting there,
we're
man.
early.
I think
Yeah,
we're
because
getting
we
there.
understand how everything works. We did have access to Bitcoin earlier than a lot of other people before traditional finance. Just a lot of these other plays haven't been so successful, like most of the altcoins. DeFi has been successful, but that's still really hard to navigate. You have to dodge hacks. You have to dodge protocols rugging. There's so many things to dodge, right?
Yeah.
Right now,
Right.
we're at the point where we're professional dodgers at most of this, but we can still get taken down very easily.
Yeah, so true. I mean, at least comparative to
So-
last cycle, 4 years ago to now, at least all the institutions are on board now. Not all, but like all the big dogs are in.
Yeah.
They're locked in now at this point. So I wonder what the next 4 years from now is going to look like. All right.
So yeah, Bitcoin
Let's
is what it's. Bitcoin is still less than 2 decades old. It's still relatively young. I think as an industry that has so much potential, just the crypto industry, I will still say that we're definitely early. But at the same time, as you mentioned, like when are we late? Definitely, you're already late on some plays. There's already been some cryptos that have been quote unquote revolutionary that have fully shot up, lived a span, and fully died. Right? There's some have
Yeah.
come and gone.
Yeah.
There's all these different things. We're still in a very experimental phase when it comes to DeFi, when it comes to everything other than Bitcoin, and even Bitcoin itself being less than 20 years old, something that potentially is already, being compared to the biggest asset classes in the world, like gold, like real estate, like different things like that, precious metals, right? I think in the grand scale of it, still like 17, 18 years old, Bitcoin still very young, right? And we're only just now starting to see things like regulation and countries starting to get involved and more official stuff, making it a more sophisticated asset. So I still think we are early in crypto as a whole and still early even on Bitcoin, but you're not like mega early. But I
Right.
won't say you're late. You've been late to a few trends that have come and gone, that have lived and died. But I say as a whole, we're still early. I said let's hit that 25-year mark, that 50-year mark of Bitcoin since Bitcoin's inception, and we're gonna see more and more real integration into life with crypto.
I did hear a scary statistic though that the BlackRock ETFs hold 3% of all Bitcoins right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is saying that demand is there. That is a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money. The ETFs as a whole are just BlackRock's ETF itself, let alone all the
BlackRock's
other
ETFs,
ETFs,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, because I know
Yeah.
Sailor holds something like 1%, like MicroStrategy and Sailor and them
Mm-hmm.
hold something like 1%. And so now it's actually starting to become a little bit more centralized with some big entities and parties holding all that supply, right, of Bitcoin.
Right.
Wow.
Damn.
Right. So
So then what happens
we're
now?
at a market cap of $2 trillion for Bitcoin. So
Cool.
3% would be like what's that, $6 billion worth of
Mhm.
Bitcoin. That's what they're holding. And I feel like that can only go up. So I think, there's still a lot of opportunity out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, to be honest, sounds almost a little bit small compared to the scale of even just some of these hedge funds and financial institutions like BlackRock,
Mm-hmm.
right? And Bitcoin becoming more and more popular, mainstream. So yeah, I think it's a positive thing overall. I think we're early.
Yes, absolutely. So BlackRock has $11.5 trillion assets under management.
Mm.
Yeah,
So that
AUM.
6 billion in Bitcoin is still like a tiny
Right?
number.
That's
That's what I
crazy.
mean.
Just
That's
trying to
exactly what I mean. The
conceptualize.
AUM, even yeah, their AUM to Bitcoin ratio, they still have a lot of firepower to deploy into crypto if it's something that is becomes more and more prominent and more and more of a priority in their investment strategy, which I think is inevitable eventually.
How much trillion? You said 3 trillion? How much do they have in assets?
Oh,
11 trillion.
11.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
11
Oh
trillion. That's crazy. You never hear
yeah.
about businesses or any entity or any individual or anything holding to the double
Not
digit
even 1
trillions.
trillion. I
That's
don't
the
think
double
people's
digit
brain.
trillions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's hard
people's
to kind of
brains can't even
comprehend.
fathom.
It's a
Yeah.
fictional number for most of us.
It's a fictional number.
Is
Even
it?
a trillion is fictional to most people.
Yeah.
Like, what does that
Mhm.
look like? Well, how do you
Yeah.
compare that to anything?
Where
Let
even
alone
by
manage
countries.
that and
Yeah.
deploy that properly. They say, that the real US government is BlackRock because they control everything. They control all the companies and they have a
Yeah,
huge they
yeah,
have a
I believe that.
huge influence and allocation in pretty much everything in every industry, which a lot of the times is also spans across the world in different ways. So they're one of the
Yeah,
biggest players in the world,
yeah,
period. Right?
Yeah.
Anytime we're talking about double digit trillions,
yeah. Money talks.
crazy.
Sorry, that's the
Money
age-old
talks.
statement of the
Yeah.
of our society and our world. Money talks. Power, status,
Period.
make moves, influence. It's been going on since the beginning of time, right? So
Life is like a sandwich. No matter which way you flip it, the bread comes first. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
loving these
Yes.
gems
It
that
always
we're
sounds a
dropping on
good gem
people.
right there. Yeah.
Nice.
The bread comes first.
All right. So, Jared, I know you're working on something. I know Josh is working on something. Are these things you guys want to share? Things that you're building in crypto right now?
Yeah,
Soon
yeah.
for me,
Wow.
not quite yet. Jared, I'll let you take that.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I've been, there's a saying, right? When you're in crypto, I guess in business in general, you're either investing or you're building, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you can't do both. It's hard to do both,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
So I've been building for quite some time, and I'm really out of the loop on like the happenings lately as of the past half a year, more or less. Maybe a little bit less than that, but yeah, I've been building this whole time, and we're finally coming out to release this new product that we're going to put out on virtuals, and it's some pretty
Mm.
cool, pretty cool stuff. We have 3 use cases with this autonomous agent that we're going to deploy on the 27th. Pretty cool stuff. We soft launched about 2 weeks ago during some events out here in the region, and we got an enormous response of interest, so much to the fact that we just decided we should just make this a press conference. Why not? Let's do a live demo, Q&A, founder story, So we got a mixture of, the sports media, crypto media, business media coming in, along with potential investors ranging from like sports leagues, betting platforms, banks, esports companies, all that can be applied to these different industries. So long story short, it's like a sports oracle companion that can be on a betting platform to give educational, informational type pieces of info to users to guide and navigate through betting platforms with more confidence.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for example, like, there's a competition, you want to bet on who's going to win, but you don't have that much information on something. This would be something you could reach out to, right?
Yeah, and it would be on their platform itself. And I guess the normies would like to think, well, why don't I just use ChatGPT instead? Why would I use this product instead of ChatGPT? And so at the live demo, we'll be showing the generalized versions between ChatGPT and our Oracle companion. Because the extra layers that we put on top of this is where we scrape data from Reddit, from Twitter, from these social platforms. So for like an NBA standpoint, we put into our AI like every single Twitter platform of every NBA player, all their salaries, of course, all their statistics, even the NBA statistics since like 1950. They has everything on top of like, what's that?
Oh, like other things too. So it includes like their socials. You see like maybe their Instagram, their stories. Like, they're out skiing. They might break their leg. Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This would be data that they could use for the AI to give like better information to the user. Like they're extracting sentiment. Of course, also human sentiment. Rumors, breaking legs. Maybe a guy was out drinking. Maybe. Whatever that may be, you can kind of factor into these betting platforms or fantasy leagues too. But again, that's just sports, and I don't want to go too deep, but we can do it for F1 racing. We can do it for video games.
For
the agent
hot dog eating contest.
Hot dog eating contest.
Not focusing.
Hold on. Keep talking.
Yeah, keep going.
But there we go. Nathan's dog eating contest winner.
Yeah.
But JD, that sounds really fire as far as you're really giving bettors a edge with information.
Yeah, I mean, again, it could be for fantasy leagues. It could be for esports companies if they were running tournaments. The AI agent can like run the whole tournament, and it can again have all the data of all the players and give bets or predictive analysis of who would win more likely. It can be plug and play anywhere. But the big combination, Agent Daredevil.
Okay.
Agent
had a great
Daredevil.
name. Bettor's Edge sounded really good.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about the crypto stuff. Huh?
But I was gonna say, with Agent Daredevil, that's dope as far as pretty much. So just to summarize, I go ahead and I commission my very own Agent Daredevil. It goes out and it brings me relevant information as far as any game or sporting event. It will go and scrape all the information in regards to it and give me the value in a way that I can sort of go ahead and place a bet with just better knowledge, knowing more about what's going on about that game. Let's say I didn't do much research about Pacers versus OKC.
Sure.
And I wanted to make a bet that night. Oh, this player is really hot, and he's been dropping this. In his last 10 games, he's went over 15 points and has shot 3 for 3 on threes, whatever. I don't really follow basketball like that. So if I go ahead and I bring on Agent Daredevil, it does all that research and due diligence for me, delivers it to me. Is that correct?
Yeah, all in one place.
Yeah,
so you don't have to go to other platforms or other places to go. And the cool thing is that with all these betting companies or fantasy leagues, you can white label our product. Make it a service and you can make it your own. You don't have to call it Agent Daredevil. Call it Agent DraftKings. We don't care. Cool. We'll be a service provider. You guys can take, all the credit if you guys want. But it's still our tech that we're using. And of course, that's still something that we can use as ammunition on the crypto side of things. So we're really able to go back and forth between crypto or Web 2 on how it can be used.
Yeah, that's a great tactic to make sure
that's a good
they don't start their own platform. Like, hey, just license this.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah.
And this is just, again, like, man, like we haven't even talked about like the platform or the app, because it's an app. It's it's a P2P wagering companion, so people can make wagers. Now we're not licensed, so right now it's just we can't say you can make bets since we're not a licensed platform in itself. But just to give you this, just how it works, like the platform, we can make bets amongst each other. We can lock in bets where he holds it in escrow. You know, winner of the results on whatever you're trying to bet on, the money gets pushed back into the person's account. And ideally, we can do it for points, for rewards and prizes. So it would be still right now technically a safe gray zone if people are just playing with points instead of like real money or crypto. And the points will be tallied on a leaderboard, gamified system. You bring in a brand like, for instance, my case for Red Bull, they'll provide all the cool prizes and rewards, make content out of it. Community that plays for these leadership points, they get all the prizes that the brands would bring in. You make content from it, brand is happy, community's happy, all utilizing our app.
Very dope.
Nice.
Very dope, man. Good for you.
Yeah, well thought
Thanks,
out.
man. Thanks, man.
Well
Appreciate
thought
that.
out. Well thought out. Definitely gonna keep my eye out for Agent Daredevil. So will there be a token?
Yes, of course, there will be a token. So the token, obviously, the best way we want to go about this is, you know, we want to keep that token in the community. We don't want to use the funds to be spent, that the funds of the token to be spent on, you know, the operations and marketing if we don't have to. That's why with these these use cases that we have in the real world, the money that we're going to get from them, ideally, that's where we want to use that to continue to grow and scale our product. Now, obviously, if we have to take something out of the coin, we would, because that's normally how things run and work. But since we have this bridge that we really figured out here that would work on both sides, we think we have some additional firepower that we can really use to the benefit of the community of the token in itself, right? So lots of fun. Yeah, it'll be on a virtuals platform. That's where you can buy the token and, you know, feel the vibes and the energy out there.
Right?
Base, correct.
Base network. Nice.
Right,
I love Base,
right.
actually. I love Base.
So,
Sweet. Very dope. Everyone watching, be sure to go check out Agent Daredevil and that project. You know, from what I've seen and from my experience talking with Jared, seems to be a seasoned crypto user and investor. AI agent space, definitely something so interesting. And the sports betting space, anytime you can get an edge when it comes to sports betting, the better off you are. I've made and lost a lot of money sports betting in the past. So definitely the more information you have, the better off you are.
yes.
So if that's something that interests you, definitely go check out Agent Daredevil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and these predictions markets are getting more popular. So there are a lot of opportunities to leverage the information you have on multiple platforms. Like I didn't even know Robinhood has a predictions market, or you can bet on stuff like Nathan's hot dogs results. Yeah.
Well, that was on Robinhood. Nathan's hot dogs.
That was Robinhood. Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
crazy. So that's the
have
Poly
sports and
Market
stuff.
playbook now.
Yeah,
the
they're
Poly
stealing
Market
Poly
playbook.
Market.
I think they've seen the success of Poly Market. It's been just a huge mainstream platform now. So that's interesting to see other products go ahead and start to copy that. Because the huge thing, remember when Arthur Hayes says, oh, what happens to Hyperliquid when Coinbase introduces perps and leverage trading, right? So what happens to Poly Market, I guess, when Robinhood and some of these other things start to introduce, you know, right, markets, betting
That's
markets
true.
or predictions markets rather. So interesting to see. And
yeah,
that's when projects like Agent Daredevil come in, give you an edge with information for things like sports. So I think that's interesting. Picking
I
shovels.
definitely think these decentralized platforms will always have a place versus these centralized platforms, just because some people kind of want that freedom, you know? They're like, I don't want all this stuff tracked. Yeah.
I agree. Especially that you know that on the head, especially with like leverage, like Coinbase versus Hyperliquid. I definitely would rather on-chain metrics, because Coinbase is connected with your bank account. The government can see what you're doing. So if you do go
Yeah.
ahead and hit a crazy amount and you cash it out, you're getting taxed right away, right?
Yeah.
And everything like that.
not saying we do that, but I'm saying your
Whereas,
taxes are gonna be crazy. Your taxes are gonna be crazy.
they're gonna look crazy. They reported it right to the bureau, so it's gonna look crazy. Whereas, let's say I came up big time hyperlink when I did a DGen 100x long and I hit for whatever amount, I could leave it on chain, leave it in stables, and until I go ahead and transact that to my bank accounts, right? We're not really, leaving a paper trail or having a huge tax obligation until it hits my bank if I decide to actually sell it off to fiat, right? So different things like that. Interesting. Well,
Cool.
I do personally have to hop off. I am to attend a dinner. Always a good
Oh
chat.
yeah,
Y'all can
Yeah.
keep on
absolutely.
going. I'm gonna repost this to King Capital. So to everyone who tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna be back with some more bangers. My name is Josh, aka GPT Josh, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.
See you, pal.
See ya. Thanks for hanging out. That's perfect because I was running out of steam too. I was like, oh, I've already
Yeah.
been on stream for 90 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that,
But if
man.
you got anything else you want to discuss, we can cover that.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good too. Like I said, like my brain is so fried, man. Like we've been building. Like yesterday, we were on a virtual call with the team for like 9 hours straight, just going just deep down the rabbit hole. Like we figured out some cool stuff, like the agent can live and act and talk on his own on Twitter and Telegram now. So like
That's
the chat,
awesome.
the chat that we
Yeah.
put you in, the Daredevil agent alpha
Yeah.
chat, yeah, he'll be in there, just ripping on his own, talking,
Yeah.
doing his own
Oh,
thing.
cool. Yeah, I've
And
been
you can
messing
talk
with
to him.
AI. I've been
Huh?
trying to figure out a way to set up a X Space host with AI because I think it'd be really cool just to have that as a host and
Yeah.
it just makes it easier
We
because
got
that's
you,
how
man.
you kind of grow socials. Yeah.
Yeah, we got you. That's not a hard thing. Like our guy on Twitter, once we activate him on live, he can do his own spaces, and
Dude,
if we really wanted to, put a voice on him, because he already has the foundation layer of a personality, ChatGPT, Eliza, all those things. It's already built in him. So plug and play.
Yeah,
Show
because
you
I
how to do
think
it.
that's the best way to grow for on X, having these spaces.
Yeah.
You have an agent just hosting its own space, talking about what it's betting on, its thought process. I'm like, all right, this is our pick. This is the reasoning behind it, and it could just chat for a while and could build up some steam there.
Exactly. Right. So we can definitely have some talks later on about that, Dan, for sure, man.
Yeah.
No big
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm running out of. I'm dead. I'm brain dead.
All
bro.
good. This has been great. If you guys want to follow Jared, check out @Agent Daredevil on socials everywhere, right? Yeah. Pretty much.
Pretty much everywhere. Yeah.
Awesome.
Pretty
And
easy.
if you've enjoyed this, feel free to comment something. I don't know. You got to engage. I'm out of steam, and we'll be back next week. So thanks everyone, and have a good one. And I'm just gonna mute my video and audio for a second, just because there's like a 40-second delay on the live stream.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, bye guys.